Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your iWrestling Results Show live from the Baton Rouge, Raising Cane's River Center, capital of Louisiana. I'm the Mark Matt Graves, along with my partner, the one and only Nacho King Andy Savage. How's it going, Savage?
It's a great day, man. A great day to be a wrestling fan. We've got a hell of a show for you.
We do. How'd you enjoy summer break? The
It was
summer
a great
tour?
summer. It was a great summer tour, man. You know, you can always count on iWrestling to put on a show of a lifetime.
Like I've said before, ladies and gentlemen, chaos and controversy are starting to become the norm here in iWrestling. Monday Night Alpha here in Baton Rouge was no exception. Would you agree with that, Savage?
Absolutely, man. We had, a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for here, man? We've got we've got some moves being made, some chess pieces being moved around, man. A lot to fill you in on.
Indeed, and folks, strap in your seatbelts because this could possibly be the most chaotic and controversial episode of the results show that you've seen yet. Let's get started. We're going to start things off hot and heavy tonight with the IW Television Championship. The champion, defending champion, Mississippi Machine Gun versus Shooter J versus Billy Gore in a three-way dance for the title. And this one didn't disappoint. You had the match started off Shooter J and Billy Gore double teaming on the Mississippi Machine Gun, stomping a mud hole in him until he's almost unconscious. Mississippi Machine Gun would regain the advantage with a double clothesline to Billy Gore and Shooter J over the top rope, and Mississippi Machine Gun was on fire at this point, Savage.
Yeah, the kid, he's got a lot of spunk, man. He's got a lot of energy, but you also, in this situation, you got to slow it down and be aware of your surroundings, man. You got to keep your head on a swivel. Got to be ready for anything, man.
You do have to be ready for anything because Billy Gore would re-enter the ring and hit a lariat on Mississippi Machine Gun. Gore would hit the Gore Storm on Shooter J. But right after he hit the Gore Storm, it would be Mississippi Machine Gun hitting that Deep South driver on Billy Gore, only to turn around and get the Midnight Ride from Shooter J. And that was it. 1, 2, 3. We have a new iWrestling World Television Champion, and his name is Shooter J. What you think about it?
There it is, man. Like I said, you got to keep your head on a swivel. Veteran savvy right there from Shooter J. It's all about the opportunity, especially in these triple threat matches, finding the opportunity where you can, seal the deal, man. It's all about sealing the deal. It's not enough to get one guy down while the other guy is still ready for a fight. You got to get them both down. You got to seal the deal, man.
Sharon, we have Shooter J, right? Shooter J is backstage.
Ladies and gentlemen of IW, I'm normally not the guy that likes to say, I told you so, but you see this, the IW Television Championship, the championship I said I would be winning tonight? More or less. What I'm trying to say is, I told you so. Billy Gore, you brought the fight tonight like you always do. But it just wasn't your night. And Mississippi Machine Gun, from the moment you won this, from the once very determined corruption killer, you made this championship look like a goddamn joke. This championship used to mean something from one end of professional wrestling to the other. If you held the IW Television Championship, it meant you were going places. Every company I've been in, I've won their television championship. I've made it mean something. This title, until now, was a joke. Much like the last person to hold it, the Mississippi Machine Gun. It's time to go to work. It's time to make this mean something once again. You know the old phrase, the title doesn't make the man makes the title? Well, it's time for me to make the second half of that little statement ring true. And that is the truth.
Hey, strong words from the new television champion, man. I, for one, I look at this guy as one of those pansies, one of those goody two shoes, pick a guy up when he's down type of guys. I hate the entire persona, man. I hate it all. But he's had some strong words there. If he's gonna go out here and put on a good fight for the fans and for the show, and draw some money, I'm all for it, man. As long as he's helping line my pockets and attract some dollars, I'm all for it, man.
Shooter J, a goody two shoes.
Yeah, he's a pansy. Don't let these guys fool you, man. Especially those quote unquote rough and tumble guys. Yeah, they really they'll run to the cops snitching if they find some information, man. Those guys aren't as tough as they try to seem.
Even
No way, man.
Even EAP.
Hey, don't put EAP and Shooter J in the same category.
No, I would never do. I never do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what you just did, man. That's exactly what you just did, man.
EAP, good boys.
Hey, no way, man. No way, man. Don't make me call him about that blue bandana, man. All right, take a chill pill.
Come on, next we got Hell Undead versus Alex or Raven True Blood, whatever he's going by these days. The match would start off with Hella coming out swinging left and right. Alex, he'd try to get the advantage, and he'd get the upper hand on her for a little while using his power. He's got that power. He's got that big, devastating powder keg headbutt, Savage.
Absolutely, man. He's got a nice frame there. When you can utilize that to your advantage and get the smaller opponent on the ground, then you've got some momentum working for you.
And he did indeed have that until he went for that powder keg headbutt, and he missed. Hell Undead dodging the powder keg headbutt and nailing Daddy's Girl on Alex, Raven Trueblood, Alex Trueblood, for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner is Hell Undead.
Hey, Hella coming out with the victory. You know what that means, man. I was gonna say something about the fat lady singing, but it's kind of ill placed when you have a woman winning here. Kind of implies the wrong thing. Hella Undead, a phenomenal athlete, obviously. Not the one singing there, but the fat lady did sing. Alex being put in the ground, great win for Hella Undead.
That wasn't you that was singing. Next, we move on to one of the more brutal matches of the night: KB3 and Blake fucking Williams.
And you know what, man? Going into this one, this was quite a heated matchup, man. KB3, literally no respect for his opponent, man. Just absolutely none. And turnabout is fair play. Blake Williams not showing any respect either. And these two guys, it's one thing in our sport that I for one love to see when two guys just have no regard for the other. I don't like all this, hand shaking, smiling, and guys go home to their families nice and safe. I don't believe in any of that, man. Let it all hang out, man. Hey, it ain't a game. I'm telling you. But I'm all for it, man. I'm all for the brutality. Let's get into it, man.
This match didn't last too long either. This was literally the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. One of the more brutal matches of the night. Both men charging at each other. Took a couple times, but KB3 finally got Blake Williams on his back, nails the leg drop, and KB3 would take over from there, brutalizing Blake with splash after splash. His downfall would be going after that Singapore cane. I guess he got really used to that hardcore division. He got to that Singapore cane, brought it inside the ring.
This wasn't a hardcore match?
No, this wasn't a hardcore match.
Yeah, this right here, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is the favoritism. We know that this man, it's like Al Snow. his special move wasn't the snowplow, man. It was the head. People know he uses the head, man. People know that KB3 uses the Singapore cane. Why are we booking him in matches where he can't use his best attribute, man, his best move, his best weapon? Not fair whatsoever. But keep on going.
Maybe KB3 should have got some head. But no, the
Never can
referees.
have enough head.
The referee goes to take the Singapore cane away from KB3. At that time, Blake Williams drop kicks the legs out from underneath KB3. KB3 falls to his knees, and as he's getting up, Blake Williams climbs to the second turnbuckle, hits a bulldog on a KB3 that's trying to rise to his feet, hits that bulldog, and gets the 1-2-3. And Blake Williams with a decisive win over the big man, KB3.
This match right here, obviously, as you mentioned, it wasn't very long, but it was very physical, very hard hitting. I didn't get a chance to mention this before the match, but you got to think that the winner of this match being Blake Williams, since it was an opponent like KB3, you got to think Blake Williams is going to be in line for some type of big spot, man, whether it be, a number one contender for the, world championship, what have you, or, he might not even, he might just jump straight to be the number one contender for the TV championship or the United States championship, what have you. So we'll see what's in store for him, man, because beating KB3 in the middle of that ring, that's something, man.
It's kind of scary that we're agreeing so much here. I'm getting a weird feeling here.
Well, even guys like you can't deny the facts, man.
Even guys like me.
Even guys like you, man. I said it. You know what I'm talking about. I said it. Guys like you. You people.
Match number 4 would pit Jack the Ripper against T-Bone Boudreaux. And T-Bone, I feel for him as well as, Bubba Boudreaux and David Jones. The effects of Hurricane Ida, T-Bone just wasn't in this match at all. His head wasn't there. Jack the Ripper completely just took over, nailing him with lariat after lariat, nailing a power bomb, and then finally hitting that heart punch. And Jack the Ripper 1-2-3. He made it look easy too.
Yeah, it's very rare for me that I'm gonna acknowledge any human struggle, but I will acknowledge that T-Bone Boudreaux, man, you've got family you're worried about, you've got all sorts of things you're concerned with. It's hard to focus on work, right now when you've got everything else on your plate, man. So it was a tough outing for him. And Jack the Ripper, you gotta give respect to the Ripper for not not taking his foot off the gas in this setting and going out and getting the win.
Definitely. Now, Nacho Man, we go into tag team action. The Unholy Administration versus the New Age Mayhem. It's Necro and Frank Paul taking on Rick Sabbath and Johnny Rotten. And these guys battled back and forth all week long.
Oh, yeah, man. These two sides, very, very different. But, on one side, you've got Necro and Carnage, I'm sorry, did I say Necro and Carnage?
Yeah, you did.
It was Necro and
Frank Paul.
Now, the thing is, I thought of Carnage because Paul's similar to Carnage, very calculating, and that works well with Necro because Necro, the guy, you don't want to get inside that guy's head. So, with those two teaming up against New Age Mayhem, those guys are more so, they fight, they feed off the momentum of the crowd. They go out there, they give it their all. Two very different teams. Very interested to see how this plays out, man.
Well, it would start off with a back and forth type style match. Rick Sabbath would get double teamed, get worked on pretty good by Necro and Paul. Lots of double teaming on Rick Sabbath. Quick tags in and out until Sabbath finally tags in, gets that hot tag to Johnny Rotten, and Rotten starts cleaning house. By this time, the fans are on their feet. They're getting loud. Johnny Rotten.
Let me tell you one thing, man. I'm glad that I'm not wrestling these days. I do not want to have a rotten day. Thank you very much.
Neither am I, but I've never wrestled. But I wouldn't want to have a rotten day. But somebody did. Necro getting clotheslined into the corner. Johnny Rotten hitting the cradle to the grave. The referee counts 1, 2, and then the lights go out. Lights come back on. Adam Cage and Ethan Carnage, the Unholy Administration, double teaming up on Johnny Rotten, just stomping the hell out of him. Necro and Paul would join in, and it was a 4-on-2 beatdown, pretty much, Savage.
You know what, man? I can't say we can't say how the match would have turned out if not for the interference there. But my takeaway, you got to think about the big picture here. The Unholy Administration taking this opportunity to lay the beat down on the New Age Mayhem. The New Age Mayhem and the Brotherhood, really their only opposition in their road to complete domination of this organization. So, obviously they lose the match by DQ, but they inflict a lot of damage here, man.
Yeah, I do want to mention that the official winners of the match were the Outlaw, Rick Sabbath, and Johnny Rotten, but via disqualification. Next up, Savage, we got my good buddy, my friend, EAP, taking on Mr. Crowley. And the bell would ring on this one. EAP would charge Crowley out of the corner with a clothesline, nailing a clothesline. Crowley gets up. EAP nails another clothesline. Crowley gets up. EAP, he had enough. We're a minute and a half into the match. EAP nails the ghetto blaster for the 1, 2, 3. And we see EAP shouting in Crowley's face, "I don't work by the hour, bitch."
Hey, you know what, man? I'm really, really proud of EAP here, man. You know what? This past week, pretty rough for the Ohioans, man. Brian Pillman got owned on the mic. Then, Ohio State lost. And, but this past Sunday, the Bengals got the W. I know EAP was happy about that. And then EAP here tonight in epic fashion. It wasn't a close one. The Bengals pulled out a close one. This was not a close one, man. This was a blowout victory. Shout out to EAP.
I would say EAP's in the same boat with Blake Williams, as you talked about earlier, of, title contention.
Oh, yeah, man. Both of those guys definitely looked impressive here tonight. Now, I will say that Blake Williams probably had a bit of a bigger win, but EAP has been in a role of his own. Definitely interested to see what's in store for him.
By the way, I love it when Ohio State loses, but I don't so much as love it when LSU loses.
Hey, man. It's looking like a down year for both organizations, both programs, man. It happens, man. It happens. You can only stay on top for so long.
For UCLA, yeah, damn it.
Please pass the all fruit.
Pass the Polaner all fruit.
Pass the Polaner all fruit.
Would you please pass the jelly?
Polaner all fruit is real fruit, sweetened only with fruit juice. You'll call it delicious, you'll call it remarkable, but please don't dare call it jelly. Polaner all fruit, the spreadable fruit.
Next up, we'd have from the Unholy Administration, Adam fucking Cage taking on DCE, the Wicked Sin. What do you think about it, Savage?
These two guys were going at it this week, man. It was pretty exciting to see, man. DCE, one of the up and comers here in iWrestling, and when it comes to on the opposing side, Adam Cage, when it comes to established mainstays in iWrestling, it doesn't get any bigger or better than that, man. So I was very, very excited to see what takes place in this one.
Yeah, Adam Cage would start off with the upper hand on DCE, but DCE would fire back to the point where Adam Cage started leaving the ring and coming back in, leaving the ring, coming back in, till DCE finally had enough of that. Chased Adam Cage outside the ring, charged at Adam Cage, and Cage, the veteran that he is, smart man, moved out of the way, bashing DCE's face into the post outside. Threw DCE back in for a 2 count, And these guys, they stayed brawling for about a good 20, 25 minutes, Savage.
You know what, man? Neither one of these guys really wanted to give an inch in this one because obviously we've talked about this. We've talked about big match implications and where guys are headed. It's really, a wise man said it best. Either you're a winner or you're a loser in this sport, and all of these guys know what's at stake right now. So, in both of these guys in position where they can either put themselves that much closer to a world championship, or they might be getting pushed back to the end of the line. So you really need to seize every opportunity.
Right, and DC tried to do just that. He would end up getting the upper hand on Adam Cage, nailing the black hole suplex. He would pick up Adam Cage and climb that top rope for that death from above, that move that should be illegal, really, a pile driver from the top rope. As he's picking up Adam Cage's foot inadvertently kicks the referee in the face. Referee goes down. DC nails the death from above. Doesn't nail it quite like he wanted to, though. Still, Adam Cage is on his back. DC goes to revive the referee. While he's trying to do that, Adam Cage gets up, pulls out a pair of brass knucks out of his tights, puts them on and spins DC around, cold cocks DC with the brass knucks. By this time, the referee's slowly moving into counting position for the 1, 2, 3, and your winner was Adam Cage.
You know what, man? That's how you draw it up, man. We've talked about taking advantage of your opportunities here tonight. Adam Cage, man, when you see the ref is down, hey, look, it's like if you're a man and you're out on vacation, if your wife don't see you, she don't know. What she don't know won't hurt her. Don't be looking back, man. But that's the thing, man. The ref's down. He ain't gonna see it. He can't call it, man. So you gotta. That's how you draw it up, really. That's really how you draw it up. When you see that, you call the audible. You make that. You make that call. You make that execution right there. You get the win. Beautiful execution. That is why Adam Cage is a champion. He'll be a champion again soon. It's you know what, man? That was just flawless execution right there.
Would you say, Savage, that this was veteranship overcoming an up-and-comer?
Absolutely, man. And you know what? Big props to DCE because we saw
a lot
of that fight.
He gave it hell.
We saw a lot of that fight. Not only the fight, but also the skill, man. He pulled out some pretty impressive maneuvers, man. We saw a lot of skill from him, but in the end, Adam Cage with that veteran savvy, man, putting him over the top.
Something tells me there's going to be more to this that comes along. I don't know. I just get that feeling, By the way, who that quote you quoted a while ago? Who said that?
You're either a winner or a loser?
Yeah.
Hey, the nature boy, man. You're either two things in this sport. You're either a winner or a loser, and it's real easy to pick out the winners because they walk around wearing pretty gold belts that shine 24 hours a day.
I've always loved the nature boy, Buddy Landale.
That one too, man.
And now, Savage, we move on to the double main event. Part 1 of the double main event for the iWrestling World Tag Team Championships. We got the Unholy Four, Carnage and Graves, been the champions for quite some time, been dominant champions. Taking on New Age Mayhem's Doomsayer and Tony the Hammer Morrison. Your thoughts going into this one?
This is kind of like, Frazier versus Foreman. It's two heavy hitting teams. It's gonna be a physical matchup, man. I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah, this match would start off with Hammer and Graves in the ring. Hammer would be dominating Graves at first until Graves and Carnage showed their tag team ability. Quick tags in and out, starting to get the best of Hammer. Graves would be in the ring, and he would go for that Louisiana Jam leg drop on the Hammer. He nailed it. Got a 2 count. He goes up to nail the Louisiana Jam leg drop again. This time, Hammer moves out of the way. Hammer going for the tag. Multiple times he tried to tag in Doomsayer, and either Graves or Carnage would stop it. This time, Carnage would come in and stomp Hammer in the back of the head, stopping the tag from being made. You know,
And if I could
this
stop you here for a second, this is right here. If you're the challenging team, you've got to overcome that. The other. You got to overcome that hurdle of the other team being in sync, man. You know it's the championship team. You know it's a great unit you're facing. You've got to overcome that, man. You've got to break that barrier. You've got to be able to execute what you want to do.
exactly. Carnage would be in the ring with Hammer, and he would go for the Karnakazi, but he'd be headbutted by Tony the Hammer Morrison, sent Carnage into the corner. Hammer would hit that drive-by running boot, and then turn around and hit the same boot to Graves, knocking Graves off the apron onto the floor. This was his chance. The crowd was on their feet, the loudest they've been all night, as Tony the Hammer Morrison crawling toward Doomsayer. Doomsayer with his hand reached out for that tag, and Hammer getting so close, and then all of a sudden, we see Doomsayer pull his hand a little bit farther back and then drop to the floor. And the crowd became silent as we see Tony the Hammer Morrison looking at Doomsayer as if to say, "What are you doing?" And Doomsayer holds up 4 fingers.
Oh, no.
And it would be Carnage and Graves just stomping a mud hole in Hammer. Even Carnage would climb to the top rope and help pick up Tony Morrison into the Cradle of Filth pile driver and spiked him. A spiked Cradle of Filth pile driver as Dark and Graves would get the 1-2-3 victory over Tony the Hammer Morrison, as Doomsayer then entered the ring and embraced Ethan Carnage and Dark and Graves, and all 3 started to beat down on Tony the Hammer Morrison. Rick Sabbath and Johnny Rodman tried to come down to the ring, but they were followed by Necro and Frank Paul, Nick Harrison, Grant Miller, Adam Cage, the whole unholy administration just beating down the New Age Mayhem. And I mean, it got ugly. It got bowling shoe ugly, which ended in the unholy administration, all hands raised in victory, looking like the most dominant force we've ever seen in IW.
You know what, man? It's a little bit disheartening, man. You think about what forces do they have to oppose the unholy administration. The New Age Mayhem was one of the few, and they just lost one of their biggest guns, man. It's a dark day.
Yeah, speaking of dark days, Dark and Graves, who knows how long they've been planning this. This was, that guy's got a sick head. And Doomsayer, what's that? Izzy. Thank you, sweetheart. Doomsayer can explain a little better than I can.
Like I said, it wasn't going to be Graves that breaks apart the New Age Mayhem. It was me the entire time on the phone, always questioning everybody else. Because New Age Mayhem, all they did was make me fail here in iWrestling. Ever since I joined them, I lost my North American Championship. Every single time that we fought out there together, was it Johnny Rotten would fall down, huh? Yeah, some guy, he's the one that has rotted the core of New Age Mayhem. And I mean, Outlaw saying that I wouldn't have been in the main event without him. I can break you in half, just like I broke down Morrison. And now I am a part of truly the strongest family in iWrestling, the Unholy Four. You're all fucked.
His last sentence there, man. It really, that may have been the most accurate statement we've heard all night.
All this time, they've been talking about a 4th member that's been waiting in the shadows. Who knew all along it was Doomsayer? Makes you look back at the last week. The whole last week has been a play. It's been a as you guys call it in the business, a work.
Yeah, man, we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, thumb slammed, had
My
the wool pulled
God.
over our eyes even.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I told you this is going to be a controversial episode, and we're not finished yet.
Somewhere in the middle of nowhere, America's #1 author, just met his #1 fan.
I think Paul Sheldon might be in some kind of trouble.
You must be a good man. You could never have created such a wondrous, loving creature as Misery Chastain.
Very kind. She loves everything he's ever written.
Oh, Paul, what a poet you are.
Until now.
How could you?
Eddie.
You murdered my Misery!
Directed by Rob Reiner.
Whatever you're thinking about doing, please don't.
From the novel by Stephen King.
Trust me, it's for the best. God, I love you.
Misery. Starts Friday, November 30th at select theaters.
Ladies and gentlemen, as if you hadn't seen enough already, it's time for the double half of the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship of iWrestling. It's the loaded gun Chad Bartlett defending his World Heavyweight title against the Irish bastard James Park and the Chicago Savage. Your thoughts going into this match, Nacho, man? I know this hits home for you a little bit.
Yeah, you know what, man? Our champion, Chad Bartlett, he's a guy who walks into every fight with the utmost confidence, knowing that he could walk through pretty much any brick wall that's in his way. And, you know, that's why he is the champion, because he is that good. Now, with James Park, he's got similar confidence and similar heart, man. But for him, it seems like there's always a little bit something extra in his way. We'll see what takes place tonight. And Chicago Savage, man, you know, a little bit mixed messages from him leading into this one. We don't really know where his head's at, man. What really is on the agenda for him, but we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, we thought I thought myself at first Dark and Graves was going to get involved in this one. It seemed like they were on the same page. Looks like that was all a ruse, though. The bell ring
pulled over our eyes yet again.
Yeah, that's right. The bell would ring, and Chicago Savage would immediately leave the ring and jump on color commentary.
You know what, man? It was somewhat entertaining. He mentioned likely receiving double the pay for commentating and wrestling, even though he hadn't done much wrestling to that point. But it is what it is.
And some people would look at that as smart. Park and Bartlett would start to slug it out, though, in the middle of the ring. They would eventually battle their way outside toward the outside of the arena. And as Thomas Austin tried to follow them out of the crowd comes Frank Paul nailing Thomas Austin with a brick upside the back of the head, knocking him unconscious. Austin was actually stretchered out, and I guess it would take a brick to stretcher that man out.
I was gonna say, you know, if you've ever, you know, I watch a lot of street fights on the internet, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I've seen one in particular. This huge guy gets hit with a brick right square in the head, and it really turns the tide in the fight, man. It's you know those bricks, man. They're made out of concrete, right? I mean, hey, there you go.
Enough to take out Austin, and we wouldn't see Austin for the rest of the night. And we still, Sharon, we know Austin's condition. Still don't know his condition yet, and we'll get that report to you as soon as we can. But James Park and Chad Bartlett would brawl their way to the outside of the arena. James Park would even have Chad Bartlett propped up against one of the fans' vehicles outside. I hate to be the insurance company there, but he'd hit a gallows glass elbow and climb on top of the vehicle and hit the money shot on Chad Bartlett from on top of the vehicle for a close 2 count. Both guys would get back up to their feet. Chad Bartlett would hit a low blow on James Park. He would drag him toward the arena, back toward the ring, and grab James Park by the back of the neck and threw him through the glass door of the arena.
Jeez, man. You know what? As I mentioned, you know, these two guys, Chad Bartlett, James Park, really no fear in them and no lack of confidence in these guys. And it shows, man, these guys putting it all on the line for the ultimate prize.
Right. And they would brawl their way back towards ringside to where Park would get the upper hand on Bartlett for a second. And then finally goes up to the commentary booth and rips the headset off Chicago Savage, grabs Chicago Savage by the hair, and tries to throw him in the ring. Chicago Savage kicks him in the gut, throws him in the ring. And Chicago Savage and Chad Bartlett start double teaming James Park. And this went on for quite some time, to the point where they looked like they were on the same page. The three of them would battle outside of the ring toward the Titantron. And that's when James Park would come back. He would hit both men in the gut with a kick and a double DDT from James Park onto the Chicago Savage and Chad Bartlett. And then he pulled out his shillelagh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he pulled out the shillelagh, and he was looking like he was deciding who to hit first. And we see somebody jump the rail, the guardrail. Thinking it's a fan at first, they take the shillelagh right out of his hand. James Park turns around, and who do you think it is? Matthew Mullins.
Oh, man.
James Park, with a look of shock on his face, Matthew Mullins takes the shillelagh and nails James Park on top of the head with it, knocking him unconscious. Mullins runs off back into the crowd. By this time, Chicago Savage is already climbing on top of the Titantron. Chad Bartlett sees it and starts to follow. Chicago Savage is on top of the Titantron first, and he's getting ready to hit that Sears Tower from the Titantron. Just before he could, a super kick from Chad Bartlett, knocking Chicago Savage off the Titantron into the electrical equipment, causing an explosion. We're going to have to check on Chicago Savage because he was stretchered out as well. Chad Bartlett, though.
How much money do we spend on ambulances tonight, man? Don't they have to pay for that?
Your guess is as good as mine. Chad Bartlett taking advantage of the situation, though, hitting Nagasaki 1945 off the top of the Titantron onto an unconscious James Park already. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, still world heavyweight champion, Chad Bartlett. But it wasn't over there.
Well, let me before we get into into what took place after the match. Let me just say, in regards to what we saw tonight, Chad Bartlett, great defense, as we mentioned, man. The guy can pretty much take on any challenge. We saw that yet again tonight. And for James Park, I got to say two things, man. Obviously, Matthew Mullins getting involved. I think when Park finally wakes up, he's gonna be pretty pissed. But and also, James, far be it from me, to be the sideline quarterback or whatever. But man, things were looking pretty good for you before you decided to put your hands on Chicago Savage and add him to the match. Probably not too much strategy there. I don't know what you were thinking. Probably weren't thinking. Probably using more emotion than brains. But yeah.
Yeah, and we thought we was going to end the show with Chad Bartlett, as Chad Bartlett was holding his belt high above his head, celebrating in the middle of the ring, and then all of a sudden the unthinkable happens. I guess security was on break tonight because out of the crowd comes the Bong Daddy himself, Josh Byers, of all people. Not a member of IW, CEO of Heresy, coming through the crowd, getting in the ring, and beats down Chad Bartlett with a baseball bat, and beats him down good, and ending the show with Josh Byers, the Bong Daddy himself, making a statement here. And I'm just in shock over that.
You know what, man? I'm all for, making your mark and taking the bull by the horns, as it were. But I'll tell you what, man. Chad Bartlett might not be the tree you want to bark up, man. Let me just say that to you. All due respect to you, Bong Daddy. I wish you the best, man. I gotta respect the desire, the want to be the top guy, but and to want to to want to be in that position. But it's easier said than done. We'll see if you can handle it, man.
What is he even doing here? And what'd you say? How? He's not even on the roster. Apparently, we got words from the Bong Daddy.
Surprise, Chad. You don't know who I am, but motherfucker, I know who you are. You're the world heavyweight champion of IW. And I'm the Bong Daddy, bitch. I'm the guy that just got done taking your ass out with a little bit of assistance from my girlfriend right here, Betty Lou. And check this out, Chad, the world heavyweight champion. The big dog in this motherfucker, right? Is that what they say? The big dog? Big dog. More like a fucking pint-sized pipsqueak that likes to come out and pander to the people with his fucking puny-ass, putrid, prepubescent, punk bitch promo approach. Well, Mr. Bartlett, pew, 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 you like to shoot. I'm the fucking gunner around here now. I'm taking not only your title, but your motherfucking title. So, you and I are gonna get to know each other real fucking good, Chad. When you come at the Bong Daddy, make sure you come correct, or I'm gonna deliver the motherfucking stroke that you will not recover from. You're looking at the pandemic of motherfucking E-Feds, bitch. No vaccinations, no cures. Just the inevitable. Me taking everything you got. So I'll see you real fucking soon, Chad. To the rest of you motherfuckers out there, I'm fucking here. And I ain't going nowhere. So get ready.
My God.
You know what, man?
He's here.
And he's got guts to boot.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say. What a show tonight. As always, Nacho Man, I'll give you the last word.
You know, we had a title change tonight. Shout out to Shooter J. We also had a couple of epic title defenses. One from Chad Bartlett, the other from the Unholy Administration, our tag team champions. What a heck of a show we had tonight. And when it comes to Doomsayer, Mullins, and the Bong Daddy, wow.
Like we said at the beginning, chaos and controversy starting to become the norm here in IW. On behalf of Nacho Man Andy Savage, I'm the Mark Matt Graves. We'll see you next week.